The most catastrophic events in history, the Great Fire of Rome. This disaster not only changed the city, but also had lasting effects on the Roman Empire and its people. Rome in 64 AD was a bustling metropolis, home to over 1 million residents. The city was known for its magnificent buildings, vibrant culture, and, of course, its dense population. However, this density came with significant risks, particularly due to the narrow streets and wooden structures that characterized much of the city. On the night of July the 18th, 64 AD, a fire broke out in the shops lining the Circus Maximus. What began as a small blaze quickly spiraled out of control, fueled by the dry summer conditions and strong winds that swept through the city. As the flames spread, panic erupted among the residents, many of whom were unable to escape the rapidly advancing inferno. For 6 days and 7 nights, the fire raged, consuming vast areas of Rome. The destruction was catastrophic, with entire neighborhoods reduced to ash and smoke. Historical accounts suggest that the blaze destroyed at least 3 of Rome's 14 districts completely, while significant damage occurred in several others. The iconic landmarks of the city, including temples and public buildings, were not spared. The aftermath of the fire left thousands homeless and significantly altered the landscape of Rome. In its wake, the disaster prompted a series of political and social changes. Emperor Nero, who was in Antium at the time, returned to the city and initiated relief efforts aimed at assisting those affected by the tragedy. He also proposed a grand rebuilding plan that included wider streets and the use of fire-resistant materials, a response to the city's vulnerabilities. However, the fire also fueled rumors and accusations against Nero. Many speculated that he had started the fire himself to clear land for his grandiose building projects, including the infamous Domus Aureale. This suspicion led to a significant backlash against him, culminating in the persecution of Christians, whom he scapegoated for the disaster. The Great Fire of Rome was more than just a disaster. It was a pivotal moment that shaped the future of the city and its governance. It highlighted the vulnerabilities within urban planning and the need for more robust fire safety measures. The event is remembered not only for its immediate destruction, but also for its long-lasting impact on Roman society and the political landscape. Ultimately, the Great Fire serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between urban growth and the risks that come with it. Historical accounts, particularly those from the historian Tacitus, paint a vivid picture of the Great Fire of Rome, which erupted in July 64 AD. Tacitus suggests that the fire was so fierce that it destroyed nearly 3/4 of the city, leaving behind a landscape of devastation. The sheer scale of the disaster was unprecedented, with flames consuming vast sections of Rome, including residential areas, markets, and even some of the most iconic public buildings. The aftermath of the fire was devastating. Thousands of residents were left homeless, forced to seek shelter wherever they could find it. The destruction of homes meant that families were displaced, and the sense of security that once characterized their lives was shattered. Many iconic buildings, symbols of Rome's grandeur and culture, were reduced to ashes, including temples and public spaces that had stood for generations. The loss of these structures was not just physical, it represented a significant cultural and historical blow to the Roman identity. The economic impact of the fire was severe. Businesses that had thrived in the bustling urban environment were obliterated, leading to widespread unemployment and loss of income for countless families. Markets that had once been vibrant and full of life were now ghost towns, stripped of their vitality. The economic downturn affected not only the immediate victims, but also the broader economy of Rome, leading to a ripple effect that extended far beyond the city's borders. Merchants, craftsmen, and laborers all felt the weight of the disaster, and the road to recovery was long and arduous. Beyond the immediate destruction and economic fallout, the Great Fire exposed significant vulnerabilities in Roman architecture and urban planning. The narrow, winding streets and the prevalence of wooden structures were disastrous in the face of such a catastrophic event. In the wake of the fire, the Roman authorities recognized the need for reform. Changes were implemented that would influence city designs for centuries to come, including the introduction of wider streets, the use of more fire-resistant materials, and improved building regulations. These changes aim to enhance public safety and prevent such a devastating disaster from recurring. Emperor Nero's response to the disaster was met with mixed reactions. On one hand, he did provide aid and relief to the victims, initiating measures to assist those who had lost everything. He organized the distribution of food and supplies, and he even opened his own gardens to serve as temporary shelters for the displaced. However, this response was overshadowed by the swirling rumors that began to circulate almost immediately after the fire was extinguished. Many suspected that Nero himself had started the fire, driven by a desire to clear land for his grand palace, the Domus Aureale. These rumors significantly tarnished Nero's reputation and led to widespread distrust among the populace. The suspicion that the emperor had orchestrated the disaster fueled a backlash against him, culminating in the persecution of Christians, whom he scapegoated for the fire. This tragic turn of events further entrenched divisions within Roman society and set a precedent for the treatment of marginalized communities in times of crisis. In the wake of the Great Fire of Rome, Emperor Nero famously blamed the Christians for the disaster. This accusation marked one of the first major persecutions against the Christian community, leading to widespread arrests, torture, and execution. Nero's scapegoating created a legacy of mistrust that would echo through history, embedding deep-seated prejudices against Christians within Roman society. The brutality of these persecutions not only targeted individuals, but also sought to instill fear in the broader population, creating a climate of suspicion where minority groups could easily be blamed for societal woes. As the smoke cleared and the city began to rebuild, the Great Fire prompted significant changes in urban planning and architecture. The destruction of vast areas of Rome highlighted the vulnerabilities of the existing infrastructure, leading to reforms that would shape the city's future. In response to the chaos, planners prioritized the creation of wider streets to facilitate better movement and access for emergency services in case of future disasters. This shift not only improved traffic flow, but also provided a more organized urban layout, reducing the chances of a similar catastrophe occurring again. Additionally, the rebuilding efforts introduced fire-resistant building materials to replace the wooden structures that had been so easily consumed by the flames. This innovation represented a crucial evolution in Roman architecture, as it aimed to enhance the resilience of the city against fires and other disasters. By incorporating stone and brick into new construction, Rome set a precedent for safer urban environments. The Great Fire of Rome serves as a powerful reminder of how disasters can lead to significant changes, not only in infrastructure but also in societal dynamics. The immediate response to the fire transformed the city physically, but it also left lasting psychological scars. The scapegoating of Christians highlighted the ease with which fear and suspicion can be manipulated for political gain, a lesson that resonates through history. So, what do you think? How did this disaster shape the future of Rome? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical deep dives. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.